The Naked Gun.
We're talking Naked Guns, baby. Naked Guns.
So, this is a reboot that nobody saw coming. And it was, we had 3 movies and a TV show prior to this, all starring the great and late Leslie Nielsen, which I am,
and I think
I am proud to have that name just because of him. Yeah. But no, you were going to say.
You were named after him, right?
I was named after Leslie Nielsen.
You looked like him when you were born.
That's right, yeah. An old white man with white hair.
You just did the expression he always does.
And I rewatched All Naked Guns yesterday, and the amount of times someone does a weird quip or a non sequitur, and then people are like,
I like the ones where I was rewatching 2.5, and there's a bit where they're driving through Little Italy, and the green screen is of the Colosseum.
Yeah,
but I like the bits where like everyone else is acting normally, and you've just got one character that's a bit like, what's going on?
He's just been told
so
to
you've
act
got
it.
you had one guy in the back seat, and then you had the other 2 just driving casually.
Yeah.
And then
who was in the back seat again? Ones. I can't remember.
Oh, he who must not be talked about.
Oh, yes. Anyway.
Go Norberg. Go Norberg. And it's a shame.
It's a shame because there are some great gags.
There are some really funny, but like the bit with the big gun at the end of 2.5.
Yeah. Which one was it where...
And he's just like a little kid on a ride.
Which one was the bit where he was being trampled over by billions of cars? Like, it's just... He was like behind one car, and then suddenly he was behind
that's
the bus.
2.5.
That was 2.5.
Yeah, where he's putting a bug.
Yeah.
And then he accidentally gets attached to the car and gets... And
then there's a shot of the bus. There was a shot of the Colosseum, and you see the bus go past. He's like, help, I'm still under here. I thought that was quite funny.
That's a good one.
Yeah, shame, really.
But anyway, yeah, this reboot, like you say, it's a film we didn't know we needed, and it's doing really well.
It is doing really
financially
well.
and
critically. Yeah.
I have to say, I don't know about you, this is the first film that we've covered in a while that I've actually looked forward to watching.
Yes, you were saying, and it delivered, I think, for you, didn't it?
Oh man, it delivered for me in spades. Yeah.
It was
Although we were comparing notes about who we saw it with.
Yes, so we obviously both we live on opposite sides of the country, but we watched it in with different audiences, and my audience, a tough crowd, I think.
Yeah.
Only light chuckles for the most part, apart from one or 2 scenes where there was like a big laugh, and I think you know the scenes I'm talking about because there were 2 like bang in the middle of the movie. There is one scene I don't really want to talk about too much. It is in the trailers, but I don't want to ruin it. But that got the whole audience howling. The rest of the movie, it was difficult for them to get through. Some didn't even get any laughs. So some was just like completely silent.
Did you get any that were like?
No, I wasn't close. I wasn't close enough for any of that. The guy next to me was loving it. Like he was like, so it kind of. I feel like there is definitely a different experience depending on who you go and watch it with. Because if you're with friends who have the same sense of humor and you're all laughing at the same time, it makes it a better movie. I remember when I watched the Jumanji remake, Welcome to the Jungle or something, I wouldn't have necessarily went to go watch that. But because I watched it with someone who was finding it so hilarious, that his laughter was contagious, and I ended up finding it. And I enjoyed the movie more.
Well, this is the thing about cinema, isn't it? It really is a community experience. Because I've been the opposite that you're describing, where I've been to films that have, been sort of aimed at me, really.
Yeah.
But I've gone with a friend who hasn't enjoyed it, and that's brought my opinion of it down.
Right.
Because you get that energy off people, don't you? When you're in a room full of people that are laughing, you just get swept up in it.
Exactly. But having said that, I still chuckled at things on my own. There was one joke, and I'll talk about it in the spoilers. There's so much that I want to talk about because I've made a list of my favorite gags on my phone. But there was one gag that I was just chuckling to myself, and nobody else was laughing. But I don't know if it was because the cinema was too loud that I couldn't hear the light chuckles.
Okay.
But there were like a couple of people who just kept, not at the same gag, but other gags. They were just laughing, and then they were continuing to laugh, even though it went to the next scene.
I had one guy that was just absolutely loving it.
I had that same thing.
I'm with you.
We haven't talked about this movie, but Friendship with Paul Rudd. When I went to go see that, the guy next to me, like 2 rows down, he was laughing so loud to the point where he was crying, I think.
Oh, really?
Like, he was wiping tears away, and he was like struggling to breathe. And one point, he just had to clear his throat because of how much he was laughing. And then when the lights came on, he just looked like some normal guy, and he walked off. And I was like, oh, okay. But this movie, your crowd, how was it?
I wouldn't say they were tough, but it took some warming up. I think it was good that the opening scene
set the bar.
Was a scene that it set the bar, and also it was a scene that's been predominantly shown in the trailers.
Yeah.
So you have that bank scene where he rips
what
off
we
the mask
haven't
and it's him
talked about what the story is. Like, what is this movie even about? Yeah,
I'd say it's classic Naked Gun. Rewatching it is
but for the people who don't know what Naked Gun is and they don't know that this is a reboot, like, please.
So you've got Frank Drebin Jr. played by Liam Neeson,
the new version,
the new version, and he is asked to move off a bank job because he's done a bad job investigating that. He has to investigate what he puts as an apparent suicide, first of all, a car crash. But he quickly changes his mind with the help of the victim's sister, and they have to try and figure out how this tech CEO is connected to this death. That's pretty much the story, isn't it?
Even though there's a story to it, you're not going in here for the story, really, are we? We're going in for the gags.
I think the story helps. I've seen a couple of people write about why Naked Gun is so loved compared to maybe films like Top Secret or what else you got, like
Airplane,
Dracula
Dead and Loving It, which I haven't seen.
Not so much loved. There are some great gags in that.
I haven't seen any of the other. The only other Leslie Nielsen movies I've seen is obviously Airplane and what was the other one? Scary Movie 3 and 4, where he played the president. And that was the only, from what I've read, after The Naked Gun, he was in a long run of movies that try to capture the same sort of essence, and they all didn't do that well. And then Scary Movie 3 was the first time he was kind of his legacy was like reinvigorated again. Because it was directed by David Zucker, the same guys who did The Naked Gun. What were we talking about? So
one of the theories for why Naked Gun has done so well compared to the likes of Dracula Dead and Loving It is that there is at least a decent level in terms of like the story, a decent level of quality, and in terms of the character, there are sort of through lines and there is consistent characterization all the way through. Like Frank Drebin doesn't go from thinking one thing to thinking another thing.
There is a through line
scene just to serve the gag. There are lots of gags where it's like, okay, this joke comes from Frank Drebin being the way he is. Whereas some of the other films, it's like it's a gag because we thought the gag was funny. Which is fine, but it ends up being a bit more disposable, I guess.
And that brings me to my next point, spoof comedies, which isn't a very popular thing these days.
No.
And I think it run its course when they started not really putting as much effort as good spoof movies did. So I'm talking about stuff like Meet the Spartans, epic movie, disaster movie, all that kind of lot. And I think it was just riding off the coattails of Scary Movie success. So obviously 1, 2, and 3 did quite well. I'm not sure about 4, and I don't even think I've seen 5. But it's just started going a little bit downhill and repetitive after that. And I think that's probably what killed the spoof genre ultimately, or at least not as popular. And The Naked Gun is bringing it back in a way. Don't know if it's going to be the one and only one that's come back, or if it's going to spark interest in the spoof genre again. But I think it did a really good job for its IP. Let's just say, But
I don't know about you. Rewatching the old ones, I don't see many repeated gags. I'm just picking up your point on later spoofs being quite repetitive. I think there are one or two gags where they will do like, okay, this is pretty much the same gag as before with a slight twist.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a bit in the second one where it cuts to, I think it's like Frank and Jane getting back together, and it's like a love scene.
Mm-hmm.
But then it cuts to Frank's chest, and it's clearly like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
With like super huge pecs and rock hard abs, and then it cuts back to his face, and it's blatantly not him. And then the third one, they do similar, where he like takes his shirt off, and then you see his back, and it's clearly like a bodybuilder's back.
Yeah, they did
and
the
then
same
it cuts
thing.
to another shot, and it's Frank turning around.
Yeah,
but I think those are very rare instances.
Yeah,
and it's similar with this fourth one. I don't think there are many gags in it where I thought, oh, they're just redoing
what they did in the Naked Gun.
There was one
previously.
gag right at the end, which I won't spoil, which is just, okay, they're redoing, but at least they put a twist on it. They sort of put a modern twist on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about.
Are we
right at the end?
Right. What? Right at the end, as in after the credits? At the end.
Yes.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Is that
where they're by the pool?
Okay. I thought you were talking about the post-credit scene. That was right at the end. No. Okay. Did you stick around for the post-credits?
Yes.
Okay, sure. I was the only one. Everyone else had left at that point. And the person who came into the room who worked at the cinema was just waiting for me to leave so they could clean the room. And they were just watching me watch the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
And needless to say, it gave me a slight chuckle, but it wasn't like a great laugh. And then I turned around and I'm like, thank you. And I walked off, and it was the most awkward interaction because.
But that's a bit odd, isn't it? Because I had the same. While the credits were playing, there was someone, they wheel a bin in.
Yeah.
With like a bunch of brooms and mops and like buzzsaws or whatever they're taking.
Yeah.
And they just sat and waited, and the whole audience was watching the credits.
Yeah.
And it's just this person.
I think maybe they have a part of their contract where they're supposed to go in, or maybe this is part of the rules as an employee. That
they're
you
paid
have to
per credit.
Pay per credit.
That's where they get their wages from.
Right.
So the more credits you see, the more money you get paid.
Do you know what I think it could be? I think that's like their equivalent. I think that's their
lizard people.
I was about to say something from the movie, but I don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
I think people coming into the cinema and waiting for the credits to roll is the equivalent of someone going on a smoke break. It's their chance to just stand there and not have to do anything. Just to chill. Yeah. I reckon that's what
I'm working, but I'm not really.
But I'm not working, yeah.
Yeah.
And for that, I respect them.
You put a whole new spin on it, Leslie. I'm for it. I'm for the lizard people and everything they stand for.
That's right. Lizard people. There was a show about that, wasn't it? It was called The
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. That's it.
Yeah.
What else do we? Oh, well, here we go. I guess let's give our rating for the movie based on how much we laughed, I guess, because it is a comedy movie. For me, I think it's a solid chatting pit. I don't think it's a full chatting pitch because as a movie with a ton of jokes, like literally every 15 seconds or so, there were a handful that didn't land for me.
Okay.
Some were very, very funny, but some of them were like, okay, I kind of saw that one coming, or okay, that's a funny play on words, but it didn't garner a big chuckle from me, and I think maybe that's a product of my environment. Maybe, you know how we're talking about
tough crowd,
tough crowd, But I acknowledge where the humor was. I get that there were jokes going, but sometimes it just didn't hit for me. How about yourself?
I mean, going off from what you just said, I quite liked that if you don't like one joke, there's going to be, in some cases, there would be another one literally 1 second later.
Yeah.
So hey, you don't like that one? Here's this one, and it's very different.
It's like listening to a really good album. Some of the songs aren't going to be good, but like most of it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I'd say if you're listening to an album and it's got 10 songs on, and like 8 of them are absolute bangers,
but 2 of them are skippable.
That's a cracking album.
Yeah, yeah. So what about your rating then? What would you give it? Bless you.
I'll keep it general, non-spoilery, so quick notes. I thought some jokes, this says more about me. I think like 1 or 2 of the jokes could have gone on a bit longer. They could have stretched the jokes a bit more. There's a great Mission Impossible spoof.
Yeah, I saw. Yep.
I will say no more.
Don't say anymore. Yeah.
It's possibly the highlight of the movie
for you.
That or the snowman. I don't know.
Okay. Is that a spoiler?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
It's a snowman.
Snowman. All right.
That for me, the snowman sequence for me was a great example of that went on for the perfect length of time.
Yeah, it was very Lonely Island. I felt like
I was going to say it's a real mixture of a cross between the sort of DNA of old Naked Gun movies and more modern sort of Lonely Island stuff. Because obviously it was directed by Akiva Schaffer.
Yeah.
1/3 of the Lonely Island, for those of you who don't know. So it really is a cross between. So I would say if you're a fan of either sort of thing,
sure,
then go to it. Lots of just this always sounds
dumb
derogatory.
Gags.
Yeah. You say this and it sounds bad. There are lots of dumb, that's really stupid.
Yeah,
but in the best way.
But that's the point.
They are hilarious. Yeah. Like there's the gag where he pulls the gun out of the hair,
the shotgun.
Like, that's really stupid, but it's so funny, and it got one of the bigger laughs of the audience I was.
Really? My audience did not laugh at that at all. Like that? No.
Oh, I thought that was a cracking one.
Okay.
I went in thinking, not in a bad way, not having a go at Liam Neeson. I just thought, who can fill the shoes of Leslie Nielsen? Because I think he is sort of once in a generation talent for what he could do.
Yeah.
But I think he's a really worthy successor.
I think Liam Neeson has this quality. He has a similar quality in the sense that, he had his back catalogue before he started doing comedy was mostly serious. And Liam Neeson has dipped his toes in some comedy. Like there's famously that Life's Too Short episode with Ricky Gervais and Warwick Davies, that he also like cameoed in some of those TED movies. He was in Million Ways to Die in the West.
I think what's different here is that he's opened up a new vein of silliness.
Yeah.
Because in those ones, the humor comes from him being serious and deadpan. And there's quite a lot of that here. Classic Naked Gun. But there are also bits where he's doing very silly reactions to things.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's also great.
Putting a lot of silly faces too.
Yeah. The face he pulled when he saw himself when he was interrogating that barman.
Are we in spoiler territory now? Or
well, I'm trying to keep it vague.
Keep it vague. Okay. Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
I'm dying to talk to you about like the jokes. So like, can we get your rating? Yeah.
So not too much slapstick, which I was a fan of. I've never really been a fan of the Naked Gun slapstick stuff. I would say it's funny. This is the second movie that I've seen in a month where Paul Walter Hauser has been underutilized.
Yeah, he was underutilized. There was a great scene towards the end with him, but
he had a couple of really funny bits. But I thought,
he wasn't in it as much as
I felt. The side characters in the originals were in it quite a bit more than the side characters here. But
because he plays,
Pamela Anderson was really funny. She has that great musical number. I would give this a chatting Pitsy.
Okay, a little bit higher for you.
Yeah. Almost perfect.
I'm actually going to go watch it again, I think. I want to go watch it with a group of people who love comedy, and I want to see if it changes my rating. So maybe next week I'll have a different updated rating.
Yeah, maybe.
But no, it's a chatting pit for me because, I think... Yeah, I was a little underwhelmed because of the audience and like no one was really laughing as much as I. But to be honest, I should be able to find something funny in my own right. But that
is a natural reaction, though, isn't it? It's really funny that can happen if an entire audience, if you watch something you think is funny, but you watch it with an audience where no one laughs, it does restrain.
Yeah.
Your
like,
reaction.
remember that one time you showed everybody In the Loop and nobody else was laughing?
I love In the Loop. And it'd been out for maybe 3 or 4 years. And I was with you and a bunch of other people, wasn't I?
Yeah.
We just made some lunch. We sat down by the cozy fire.
Mm-hmm.
People were like, hey, what movie should we watch? And I was like, I got a banger for you right here.
Yeah.
I stuck on In the Loop. And you and everyone else just... tumbleweed the entire time.
I will give it another go though, because I do like Armando Iannucci as a director, and like I bloody love. Have you ever seen the Armando Iannucci shows?
I've seen bits of
Yeah, I have that on DVD. I love that thing, and he also.
Have you seen The Thick of It?
I haven't seen The Thick of It, so it would help, wouldn't it? Watching The Thick of It.
I mean, plot-wise, you don't have to, but it's a movie. It's like a movie version of that.
Yeah. Chatting Pitch has been brought to you by Leslie Way and Matthew D. Smith. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to listen to others and maybe even subscribe. You can follow us on the website, formerly known as Twitter.
Listen to us on Spotify or wherever else you listen to podcasts. Leslie and Matthew have their own side hustles as well. Feel free to check out Leslie's YouTube channel or Matthew's Medium blog. Links in the description. If you want anything else, we might have other links in the description if we think of anything interesting to add. Thank you for listening. I love you.